Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Nicole Vincent. Please jump on. Welcome to the replay for those that are joining us on the replay. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you guys are up and running on this Thursday. Good morning. So hello, so good to see you guys all here. We're going to be talking this morning about the power of questions. So, good morning, Marissa. So good to see you. Hey, Roxy. So this is a lesson that I keep learning over and over again. So God is obviously hitting me over the head with a question mark. So I wanted to share this lesson and what I'm learning along with you guys, because that's actually the best way to learn is from others' mistakes, right? Oh no! Oh my gosh, I would totally die at below 0 degree temperatures. Like, it's going to be 80 degrees here today in Houston, and maybe I'll scope and just make you a little jealous. Is that evil? That's probably evil of me. But I live in Houston for a reason. I can't do cold. Like, seriously, it was 60 the other day, and I was like, I was seriously freezing to death. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the biggest wimp ever. But those that can handle the freezing temperatures probably cannot handle the 100-degree temperatures in Houston. But I can handle it, dude. I can handle it like a champion. I love it. So, my name is Nicole Vincent. Thank you so much. Oh, awesome, Rachel. Thank you so much for joining me. If you feel that this is valuable, please click on the little guy down here at the bottom and share this out with your followers. Wear a lot of clothes. Yeah, I hate layering. Like, I always feel like, I don't know, maybe I have a fat complex, but I feel like so bulky when I have layers. Like, anyway, I'm probably a nudist at heart. My daughter actually was still feeling naked. I'm probably a nudist at heart, and anyway, I was born at the wrong time in my life. But yeah, anyway, let's get on to the point. Okay, lots of fun. Thanks for those that have shared. Make sure you are following me. And if you're catching this on the replay, please make sure that you have share options too, and you can still tap the screen and give me hearts. So I have to tell you a funny story. So I have had the same cell phone number for probably about 12 years. And about a month after I got this cell phone number, it was my first cell phone. And so it's 12 years ago, guys. It might be even more than that, but around that time. So I've had the same cell phone number forever. About a month after I got that number, I started getting calls. Is Lori McDonald there? Is Lori McDonald there? I'm like, no, who is this chick? Like, maybe this is like her old phone number. She just switched it over or whatever. It got so bad that on my voicemail, I had to say, this is not Lori McDonald. Please try again. This is not her number. And this was going on. And so for a few years, it would stop and I wouldn't get any calls looking for Lori McDonald. And then it would jump up again and I would start getting calls for her. I'm like, no, this is not Lori McDonald. It was, and it was typically like either telemarketers or insurance people. I even got a pizza delivery guy from Domino's calling one time looking for her. Like, why is this lady giving out my number for her pizza delivery? Like, don't you think she would want to give her right number? And so literally years of getting calls for this lady. I never thought to, one, ask, well, how do you spell her name? Okay, so I could at least try and look her up. Can you double check your records to see if there might be a misprint and you misdialed? Well, 12 years of this going on, guys, 12 years. I have a contact in my phone of the title is looking for Lori McDonald. I kid you not. And there's probably like 20 plus numbers on there. So yesterday, I get a call for Lori McDonald to this nice lady named Kim from AARP. I go, Kim, this isn't Lori McDonald. I don't know who she is, but can you help me out here? How do you spell her name? It finally dawned on me after 12 years. How do you spell her name? Because I've been getting these calls for about 12 years now, and I don't know how to solve this mystery. And so Kim was super nice, and she's like, well, this is how it's spelled. She's from the Woodlands, and that's probably more information that she probably should have given me out. But she gave me that information. I was like, oh my, like, this was monumental. 12 years of my life, guys, 12 years. And so I was, I'm like, okay, I have the proper spelling. I know the area that she lives. maybe I'll be able to like find her, send her an email or Facebook message or something and contact her and let her know, look, stop giving people my number. And then not 5 or 10 minutes later, the same phone number, the same 800 phone number calls back. And she's like, Nicole, it's Kim. I'm like, what? I'm like, hi. She's like, I just looked into the records because it was bugging me that I couldn't figure this out of why you kept getting these phone calls for 12 years for this lady. And her number is one number different. So instead of 68 at the end, it's 88. Okay? And so something that simple, but it got mixed up in these databases that go out to all these places. And so one number off. Okay? I don't know what I'm going to do with this information, but to me it was like, it was this aha moment. It's like, all I had to do was ask a simple question of clarification to help me understand this problem a little bit better. Now, I don't know if the calls for Lori McDonald are going to stop. Kim said she changed it in the system, so hopefully they will. Let's cross our fingers. But I'm like, how many times in life are we just accept stuff at face value? Or we're like, this is just how it is. Like, I'm just going to get calls for Lori McDonald for the rest of my life. Guys, think in your life. Like, how often are we dealing with that? Or, this person is just this way. We're just going to have to live with them. Like, but we don't ask questions. And so there is such an art to question asking. And I'm not talking like rude questions like, why are you a straight up witch with a capital B? No, we're not asking those kind of questions. But sometimes we just need to ask a little bit, right? And remember to ask. And not only in the circumstances that we are in life, okay? So sometimes we don't, it really, like, I am not a good question answer or question asker. I love to be asked questions. We love to talk about ourselves. We love to be understood, right? Give me some hearts if you love to be understood. That is something for me that I crave. I crave to be understood. And so when people ask me questions that they want to understand who I am, what makes me tick, what's going on in this head of mine, I love that. I feel very validated. And so I've learned to ask questions about people, ask those questions that I would want to be asked to people. Now, in your personal life, this can be used to strengthen relationships and to forge new relationships. If there's somebody, because there's that law of attraction, right? We might be out at a park and we might see a lady there with her kid. And you're like, you know what? She looks like she could be a really interesting person. I would like to get to know her better. And I'm not talking like sexual attraction. I'm not talking that at all. I'm just talking like, I'm really attracted to this person's vibe. Like, she really seems like she kind of has it together, or there's something about her I like, and I want to get to know her better. And we can do that by asking questions. So what do you do? What are your interests? How many siblings do you have? What birth order? Because birth order can tell you a lot. I'm a firstborn. Can you tell? But ask questions to people that you want to answer. Yeah, Roxy, you're a firstborn too. We feel it. So yeah, seriously, ask questions. And yeah, social media, asking questions on social media is very engaging. It gets people talking because people love to give their opinions. Yes, asking for clarification. So if you don't understand something, even if you feel it's a stupid question, Sarah, you're the youngest of 4. That doesn't surprise me. You are such a giver and you're so sweet and just so accommodating to everybody. So that doesn't surprise me at all, Sarah. But if you're asking questions, repeat back. I hear you saying exactly. That is a great phrase to use, Roxy. So sure. So true. If you say, this is what I'm hearing. And then that way thanks, Anna. That way you can clarify, because sometimes we just misunderstand, or we might miss a word, or we might have a different understanding of what something means. And so if you're having a conversation and something isn't seeming quite right, it's just not clicking for you, then just say, what I'm hearing you're saying is that, let me try to think of an example. I'm bad at this. I'm bad. Okay, we're working. Not going to be negative. I'm working on this area. So what I hear you're saying is that you have a hard time asking questions that are going to further the conversation. Do you see how I did that? I'm pretty tricky. So repeat back, but do it in your own words and how you're understanding. And from there, you can kind of not negotiate, but kind of wiggle around until you guys both are understanding the same thing and you're seeing it the same perspective. Because guys, so much in life, in personal life, in business life, is miscommunication. You guys just might be having different understandings for different words or different phrases, and you're just like, you're skewed, okay? So you just need to line it up a little bit. And yes, use open-ended questions. If you can learn how to use questions that are not just yes or no, you can really understand people better and get a better feel for what is going on. Get people talking. It really, like, even introverted people, like, they still will, they want to talk about what interests them. They want to talk about what is going on. And it might not be with a total stranger. You might need to stoke those fires a little bit of friendship and get that going. But ask people the questions that you want to be asked. So if you are trying to, maybe you see this person and you're like, okay, they're an acquaintance, but oh my gosh, this girl, she would be amazing on my team. Well, start asking those questions that could lead to that conversation. So you're not just like, oh my gosh, you're amazing, you need to be on my team. Now, some personalities that might work great for, but most personalities, there's not a ton of people that are ready to jump on board with network marketing or be that crazy oil lady. It is what it is, guys. But if you are able to lead her there gently, it might work. Okay, so look at your life. Look at where you can ask a few more. I totally own the crazy oil lady. And I think it actually, especially if people are bringing like their husbands over to my house to talk about oils, I'm like, hi, I'm the crazy oil lady. Let me get some of my voodoo snake oils for you. And we make it light. So that way they're not, they understand that I understand that that they think I'm a little crazy. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And I own it. Now, I try to kind of make a bridge so that they're not going to feel too uncomfortable, but honestly, it's not up to me. I can try my best, but it's still up to them. It's their choice how they take it. But anyway, back to the questions. There is power in questioning things and asking good questions to further relationships, to strengthen relationships, to better communicate with those around you. And especially in our relationship with God, guys, how many times in the scriptures does it say, ask and ye shall receive? But a lot of times we might not know what to ask for. So that's where we have to do a little research. That's where we might need to seek out a little bit more knowledge so we can know what to ask for. I had a great conversation the other night with a gal that she'd come over for some help. And she's like, I'm just stuck, like I'm plateaued. But I don't know the next step. And I showed her another resource. It's like, well, maybe you need to look at this avenue, and you know, very, very religious, spiritual lady, great relationship with God. And I go, well, maybe you need to take this information to him and see if this might be the next step. And because in my personal beliefs, this life is about progressing. It's about becoming better. It's about becoming who God knows that we can become. But sometimes there's got to be a little struggle there, guys. That struggle becomes strength, right? And so sometimes he's going to say, okay, you got to figure out a little bit of the next step, and then come to me, and then I can lead you. And it doesn't mean that he's not going to weave people in and out of our lives that are going to help answering those questions. But sometimes we have to know the right questions to ask. So if you feel like you don't have the right questions to ask, maybe you're feeling stuck in a certain area of your life. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your emotional well-being. Maybe it's your spiritual well-being. Maybe it's your physical well-being. I think I said physical. Maybe it's your mental. I'm trying to get all four. Then be open to those answers, because you might not have the right question to ask yet. But I promise you that if you are truly like desiring an answer, It's going to come, but it might not be in the form you were looking. So keep your eyes open and keep your mind open. But there's power in questions, guys. I know personal development, guys, is so big. Yeah, 2-year-olds are kind of crazy. Thank goodness for replays. But really, look at the different questions you can ask in your life. One thing that has been very, very powerful for me, and I wasn't actually going to scope about this, but I feel that I need to say this in the scope, is sometimes we're asking for guidance, we're asking for help, right, from on high, and sometimes we feel like we're not getting those answers. A nice and really powerful technique that I have learned is writing letters to God. So the first step is actually writing out kind of what you would pray for. These are my questions. This is what I'm struggling with. And then once you're done with that, and you can I skip that step a lot of times because I just I'm like, I've already been asking this. I just need the answer. I will sit down with a piece of paper. So I'll get my piece of paper and a pen, and I will say a prayer. I will say, I am needing guidance in this area. And I will just put my pen to the paper and let it flow. And I recommend doing this in a quiet time. Like, don't do it when kids are running around. But basically, you're writing a letter from God. And I know the first time I heard it, it was a little weird. But when I tried it, it was incredibly powerful. And it was incredibly personal. Exactly what I needed to hear from him. And sometimes our minds get crazy, a lot of stuff going on, and we can't hear that, okay? So writing this letter can be amazing. I still haven't seen that. I need to see that movie. I love that. I love that. Yes, putting your name in the scripture is so powerful. So write a letter from God. If you're feeling stuck, if you feel like you're asking the right questions and not getting answers, put the pen to the paper and just let it go. You have a plan for me? Oh, I was like, Roxy, you have a plan for me? No, you're giving the example. Awesome. Yes. So yes, get your scriptures out, put your name in there. I was like, ooh, Roxy, yes, give me that plan. But I really, yes, and I am very spiritually minded, and all my scopes are going to be sprinkled with that to some degree, because that's a big part. And I think that if you don't partner with God, you're doing yourself such a disservice, and you're doing those around you such a disservice, because there is so much power in partnering with God. And so guys, try to write a letter from God. It can be very powerful. And if it doesn't come natural the first few times, just keep trying. There's a really great group that my friend Kelly Anderson actually heads up, and it's called I'm going to get the right title so you guys can look it up on Facebook and ask to be added. Hold on. I can't type and look at the camera at the same time. I'm not that good. My fingers are off. Okay, it's called Creating with God in Life and Business. And Creating with God in Life and Business. It's a Facebook group. You can request to join, but she has lots of great tips on partnering with God in your life, in your business, and different techniques like writing letters from God and different journaling techniques that can really help you and get some clarity, because a lot of times it just gets jumbled in our head, right? And with women, especially creating with God in life and business. So creating with God in life and business. So, I think a lot of times we just get so jumbled in our head. We've got so much going on. We're pulled in 20 different directions. We're usually amazing multitaskers. And so being still is so difficult. And that's something that I strive, and I've had to practice on being still. I'm not good at being still. And so, yes, thank you, Brandy. And there's a lot of value into being still. And my last letter from God was like, Nicole, be still. Be still and let me drive. Because as women, we always also tend to be control freaks, don't we? Because we're so used to running the show in our homes with our kids. And so sometimes that trust and letting him take over is a little scary. So anyway, ask good questions. Think of where areas in your life that you need clarification. And people that you would like to deepen your relationships with, and maybe questions that you have for God that need a little bit of clarification. There's power in questions and asking the right questions. So if you're not good at it, like I'm getting better, I'm still not great. But if you are struggling with being a good question asker, Practice with your kids. There's a lot of power there, guys. Ask open-ended questions and work on it, just like any skill. And it's amazing what clarifications can come when you're able to ask better questions. So have a great day, guys. I challenge you, look in your life and think of what areas you can use a little clarification on, areas that can use a little bit of nurturing, and questions from on high that maybe you're just missing the mark a little bit, because I know he wants to bless you, and I know sometimes it's just us finding the right question to ask. So have a fabulous, fabulous day, and we will see you later. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for the hearts, and thanks for following me. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.